I am Jason, and I also have Laura on the call with me today. And we're going to go through and demonstrate talk about a few of the older features, and answer any questions that you have. So on the right-hand side, you'll see there's a questions section in the GoToWebinar panel. If you have any questions throughout the webinar, go ahead and enter them there. Chances are we'll just answer most of them at the end, so if we don't get to your question in the course of the demonstration, we'll certainly address it before we leave. So feel free to ask any questions. It doesn't necessarily even have to be about the features that we're talking about today. If there's something related to Mindflash that you want to ask us about, we're happy to stick around and answer those questions until they're all finished. So you can just enter them there and we'll hit those up. So let's go ahead and get started today. This is the list of items that we're going to cover today. A couple of new things. We'll go over the recent enhancements as well as the catalog feature that we released, which was been proven very popular in the few days that it's been out. So we're excited about that. All right, so a few of the things that we've done recently, just to recap if you haven't been on our recent product or new features webinars. Some of the things that we've done that see in there in the product, if you're on the Pro tier, we have released a couple of new roles that are available for people, so different permission levels for some of your users. So previously we had manager, trainer, and admin. We've also added a couple of roles with fewer permissions than manager. They allow for reporting only and some very minor functions within the product. So that was in response to people wanting someone that can just go in and run reports rather than actually reset courses or enroll people, that sort of stuff. So there's a couple of new features or new roles that are available there. And so definitely take a look at that. There are help docs in the Help Center if you want to read up on that, or reach out to anyone at Mindflash and we'd be happy to run through the specifics of those features. Exporting training from the actual files that you uploaded to your courses is now available on all of our tiers. When you go in and look at a course, you'll see a little download button above where all the content is listed on the first tab when you go into a course, and that will allow you to download all of the files that you've uploaded to Mindflash. So if you ever need to update anything, you've lost the PowerPoint, you can use that to pull that off. Enforcing people's watching of the videos. We have for a while had a function called Focus Assist, which tracks whether or not they're actually engaged with the course, and in so doing forces them to watch the entire course. We have this new feature, which is enforcing watching videos, which is slightly dialed down from that, where it doesn't necessarily track their engagement, but it does prohibit them from skipping forward in the course until they've actually watched the video. And the same goes for a PowerPoint slide that has any sort of audio or animation on it. It would keep them from moving forward until all of those animations and audio had played, and they can't just skip, really quickly slide to slide throughout the course. So that's also proven very popular. So definitely check that out. And then, as always, we will send you this presentation after the fact. We have an extensive list of our updates that are available in our Help Center. There is a new features topic in there or help article that you can go in, and we keep that updated with what's been released recently and when it was released. So feel free to go into the Help Center and check that out frequently and see what's been going on. That's a great way to get updates on that. We also push notifications in the product itself, so you'll see little notifications that pop up in there when we release new features and link to the information on those. All right, so that's a brief rundown on some of our newer features. The other thing that I wanted to mention real quickly is in response to requests that we've gotten from folks, we have extended our support hours. Previously we were starting at 9 a.m. Pacific time. We are now starting at 6 a.m. Pacific time, so 9 a.m. Eastern time, to help a lot of our Eastern and European customers. So we have people available starting at 6 a.m. now, so if you do have any questions, feel free to live chat with us, give us a call. If you're on one of our tiers that has phone support, and certainly tickets will be answered earlier, and you'll see a much faster response. So we have been able to bring our response time down significantly by adding more support folks and extending our hours. So we're excited about that, and I know that was a big request for folks, so hopefully that will satisfy that need. All right, without any further ado, I'm going to turn over the commentary to Laura, and she's going to run us through our internal course catalog. Laura is one of our product managers at Mindflash and has been here for quite some time, and she knows course catalog inside and out, so here we go.
Great, thanks Jason. So last week we released additional features to the catalog, and the catalog is available on the advanced and pro tiers. Prior to this release, you were able to create course catalogs and invite trainees to view the external catalog page via a URL. But this recent update allows trainers to make catalogs available to trainees directly from their trainee dashboard. So before we take a look at these enhancements, let's talk about some of the problems it solves and look at the PowerPoint. Great. So we've heard from lots of different programs that they provide a learning library of optional courses for their trainees to take on an as-needed basis, and they don't want to invite trainees to these courses because they aren't mandatory, and often trainees will not take all of the courses. They also update this list on a regular basis, whether that's adding new courses or taking out of date courses. The enhancement to catalogs that we're going to look at will allow trainers to create catalogs that contain all of the optional courses available to trainees. Instead of inviting trainees to these courses or series, the trainer can now decide which trainees have access to the catalog via the trainee's dashboard. So no longer do trainers need to externally email trainees informing them that a catalog exists. Instead, trainers can create the catalog, decide which trainees it shows up for, and then use Mindflash to notify the trainees that the catalog is available to them. And then if we go to the next slide, there's also concern that when you use an external catalog URL, people outside of your organization will be able to see your course offerings. There's a setting to ensure that the public can't actually sign up for those courses, but some programs want to make sure that there's no public reference to their training at all. So keeping your catalog internal ensures that it only shows up to trainees who have logged in. And you're also able to limit catalog access by group membership, which further reduces the people who have access to the catalog's courses. So those are some of the problems that we're solving with this. So then let's go take a look and see the setup of the new catalog feature. So here we are on the home page, and we're going to open up a catalog. And as usual, on the left-hand side, you can add courses and series, and then you can rearrange the items, as you see Jason doing here. And then you'll note on the right-hand side, there's a new section that allows you to make catalogs available on the trainee dashboard. So there's two options here. One is to show the catalog to all trainees, and the other is to limit access via group membership. So if you want to limit the access, you would choose the group option, then you'd start typing which group or groups you can see the catalog. So in this case, marketing and sales. Once you save this page, we'll see this catalog on their dashboard. So yes, so this automatically shows up on the dashboard once you save it, but you also have the option of sending an email to those people. So this send email button, when you click it, Mindflash will send an email to either all the trainees or, in this case, the specific group members you've specified. The email will notify them of any recent updates or additions to the catalog, and just a link to view all the courses in that catalog. So that's the trainer side. Let's take a look at the trainee's perspective. So the trainee will either come from the link that's in the email that you send them, or if they just log in, they're going to see at the top right this toggle, the course catalog toggle. And clicking on it will take them to the course catalog, where on the left they will see all the catalogs available to them. In this case, they have one available. One available. And then from here, they'll see all the courses and series in that catalog, and they can click on one of those courses or series. And on the right-hand side, they'll have the ability to enroll. And if there's a description for the series or the course, they will see that here as well. So this gives them the option of enrolling in any of these that are listed, or just deciding that none of them are, of use to them or interesting, and they don't have to. But it will keep their My Courses page clear of any courses that they're not actually going to take. As long as there's a catalog available to a trainee, they'll always have that toggle at the top. If there's no catalogs available to them, they won't be misled, that won't be showing up for them. So that's it. Now it's really easy to get your optional courses in front of trainees using this option, and they can peruse at will all the great courses that you've made available to them.
One other feature to highlight here is there is a search capability for the course catalog. So if you have multiple course catalogs or many courses within your course catalog, they can come in here and search for specific courses, and it'll search the titles of the courses and return any of those that satisfy that. So you can see here, as I'm searching for anything with support in it, it'll just show those 2 courses that are available to me.
And we've actually added that search to the My Courses page as well. So if you're inviting your trainees to lots of different courses and they're having a hard time finding them, they can search for them there as well.
Yeah, so this is a feature that we anticipate will be used quite a bit after initial training. So like if you think of this scenario where you're doing internal training, you might have a series of courses that new employees take. When they join the company, they have a bunch of courses they're required to take. So maybe they'll take those, but then in sort of their life cycle as an employee of your company, you may have other courses that are available to them, and you can publish those into a course catalog, and they can go take those as they desire, or on their own time at whatever point as an employee. For external training, obviously, if you're training customers or partners, again, offering optional courses is very common. So this brings what previously was sort of an external-facing course catalog internally and makes it available right in their actual account. All right. So what we would like to do at this point, I believe, is to open up to any questions that we have about this feature or anything else about Mindflash. We've had a few that have come in here, and we'll stick around and answer any of those questions. But if you want to go ahead and enter those now would be a great time to do that, and we'll just start kind of powering through those questions. The first question is the watching the video enforcement automatic, or do we have to set it on a course level? It is something that you have to set on a course level. So by default, the status of this feature is off. They are allowed to go through they have to view every file or every slide within a course, but they don't have to spend the duration on the slide. They could click through them if they wanted to, but you can set this on a course-by-course basis. So it's similar to the Focus Assist feature that we have, where you would go in and choose which courses you want to put this on. All right, next question. We provide external training to companies that use our software. The first time a group or company takes a course, we need it to be mandatory. However, after they've successfully completed the course series, they need to access the same material on an as-needed basis. How do we control that? So once someone has taken a course, they actually have the ability to go back and review that course content whenever they like, as long as they have access to their account. So in that scenario, if the content that they need to view is the same as the original mandated course, they can go back and view that course at any point. They would just log back in and go into that course, and then they're in review mode, which allows them to actually skip through the course as they need. They could use the little slider at the bottom to navigate, and you can jump from slide 3 to slide 7 if they've already viewed the course and completed it. So they could go back and review it that way. If the access to content that they need is for other courses or other pieces of content, that's a scenario where you would use the course catalog. So you would have the initial course that they're invited to, and they would take that course. And then if they need to go back and take other courses, they would like to go back and take other courses that are not mandatory, they can just go in and browse your course catalog and find the course that they're looking for and then take that specific course. So that would be a scenario in the customer training space that would be very common for people using the catalog feature. Laura, question, how can I print my course quizzes or questions?
Yeah, you can't print your course quizzes or questions. That's not a feature that we have. So, I mean, you could take screenshots of what you've typed in there, I suppose, or copy paste, but there's no like download for all the course questions.
Does a survey question always have to be the last slide in a class? Go ahead, Laura.
And the answer to that is yes, it does. The survey always is the last, and you can have one survey. If that's something that you want to talk to us about, please feel free. We're always welcome to feedback.
When hitting the enroll button in the catalog, is the trainee automatically enrolled, or does it require the administrator to physically register the person? So in the scenario of the catalog, when someone hits the enroll button, they're allowed into that course and have access to it immediately. If you are in a situation where you don't want people to have access to courses, course catalog would definitely not be the best route. Course catalog is used in a scenario where you want people to be able to register themselves for courses, whether it be a specific group of people or the general public. That's how you have restriction rights. If you don't want people to sign up for a specific course, you should definitely look at using the groups function and grouping your users and then only permitting those in specific groups to view the course catalog. That way you restrict who can just sign up for the course, but there is no review function before they get in. The thought being that they can go and browse courses and take courses sort of on their free time when they're available to take courses, so they'd have access right away. Do you have an option for secure mail or allow us to use our own secure mail for emails going out? That's not a feature that we have at the moment. It's actually something that we have been discussing and maybe on our long-term roadmap. It's not anything that's under development at the moment, but it is something that we have taken note of, and there are a few things in this sort of security certificate, email server realm that we're definitely looking at and investigating to see if we can come up with a solution that meets more of the requirements. When sending a catalog out and you choose to send to all trainees, does that mean that it will go to every trainee you have set up in Mindflash, or will it give the option to choose which trainees you want to send the catalog to? Laura, you want to handle that?
Yeah, so you have the option. So if you choose on the catalog page to have it show up to all trainees and click send email, yes, it will send that email to every trainee. Now, if you choose to limit who sees the catalog by group membership, so again, in this case, Jason has it limited to marketing and sales. When you click send email, that email will only go to people in the sales group and people in the marketing group. There isn't an option to say I want it to send to these specific people. It is by group that you can limit who sees that or who gets that email.
Yeah, and if you want to limit it, what you'd want to do is create a group with the people in it that you want to send it to, and then just add that group to the catalog. Can I use a portion of the course in face-to-face training? Yeah, I mean, Mindflash wasn't necessarily designed to be used in face-to-face training, but you could certainly do that. I mean, we see scenarios where the trainer logs in with the trainee and walks through the slides and discusses it with them. Again, Mindflash wasn't really set up to support that or as the primary use case, so I don't know that it's an ideal method for doing that, but it could certainly be used in that scenario, and what you would probably want to do is create an account for that trainee so that you have a record that they actually went through it and not log in as a trainer or an admin. And that way, when they go through and take the quiz or you see that they've completed it, you'll actually have a record that they've done I cannot make a catalog available to all trainees without putting it in the dashboard. Can the dashboard option be optional?
So I'm not exactly sure what that means. However, if you want to use the catalog, but you don't want it to show up on the trainee dashboard, you just use the public catalog page access level, which has been, around for a while now, and you could share that URL, and people could still access the catalog and see what the courses are that are available. But when they log in, that catalog will not show up on their dashboard. So hopefully that answers that question.
Yeah, my read on that is that that's what our catalog did before. So just to recap on that, if people are not familiar with how catalog worked previously, there's a section down here at the bottom which is as it was previously, share this catalog. So in the scenario where you don't want to make it in their dashboard but you want to have a link to the catalog, you would turn off the availability on the trainee dashboard and turn on the public catalog page access, and then you have two options there. One is just people who are already users of Mindflash in your Mindflash account, and then the other one is just a general public. So this would be a course that you just want anyone to sign up for. Once you've done that, you can get the URL here. That's a copy, or you can email it directly from Mindflash or use any of these social ways of sharing that, and then anyone who has the link to the catalog could go and browse it and sign up. So if you want to link to it from your website, this is how you would do it, and then they could just go and sign up for whatever they want. When are you going to provide a survey template that can be applied to any or all of our courses? Surveys are often very consistent, and having to enter them in each course is inefficient. So this is definitely a request that we've gotten. It's not in our short-term plans, so there are no immediate plans. I can't give a date, but it is something that we're aware of and looking at how we might solve this in the future. Suggestion on the download quiz questions question. I actually create my quiz questions in Word to spell check, then copy and paste them into Mindflash. This way I have them locally. That's a really good idea, certainly around the spell check option. So if you do have the ability to create these like in Word, for example, and then copy and paste them, that's probably a pretty good process to not only have them, but to ensure that they're all spell checked. Can you use a group rather than to grant access to a catalog to deny access? For example, I might want everyone except a certain group to have access to a catalog. Laura, you want to handle that?
Yeah, sure. That's not a feature. You have to put all the groups you wanted to see it in there and not have, be able to exclude something, but that's great feedback. So this was just released, so yeah, we're definitely open to feedback, but that's currently not an option. You would have to add all the groups that you want to see it and just exclude that one group from the list.
Does the API for single sign-on allow you to access users or assign users to catalogs and groups? So say you have an e-training catalog and a contractor group, you can have the API single sign-on set up to assign contractor to the training catalog. Does that make sense? Yeah, it absolutely makes sense. It is not a possibility right now. It is something that we're looking at adding in sort of our short-term fixes. I think there are a couple of enhancements we're looking at making to the API, and this would definitely be one of them. But at the moment, it's not supported through the API.
One thing you can do through the API, though, is you can add them to groups via the API, and if you're making it available to a specific group, then it would show up for them. So
good point. Yeah, so sort of a roundabout way of doing that. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, good point. I want to create or edit quiz questions offline and upload, or at least print the questions I've created so I can compare and edit online. So I think we've already covered this one, but it's not possible at the moment. Certainly something we've taken a note on and may look at doing in the future. Are trainees automatically notified if I remove a course from the catalog? Laura, you want to handle that?
No. Yeah, they're not automatically notified either. They're not automatically notified either way. So if you add courses or remove them, we're not just sending emails out. The only way that an email is sent out to notify trainees is if you click that button. And if you do click that button, the email will notify them of recent additions. But if there's things that have been subtracted, they'll see that they're no longer available when they log in, but it's not noted in the email.
Yeah, so the thought is that we don't really want to bombard them with email, so if you can kind of add things and choose when to send out those emails, but rather than send them an email every time the catalog is updated, you have that option to send the email when you're ready. If I download the course slides, make changes to the slides such as adding or deleting slides, and re-upload it back to the course, will it change the order of voice recording? How do I solve that problem? Oh, this will change the order of voice recording. How do I solve that problem? So that is an issue. One of the things that we've added to the download function is the ability to export audio that's been recorded in Mindflash. So just a clarification on this scenario. So someone has uploaded a PowerPoint to Mindflash. They've then recorded the audio on those slides in Mindflash, and now they need to change the order of those slides or do something sort of dramatic to that PowerPoint, which then reorders the slides in the PowerPoint. So when they re-upload it, Mindflash will not know which slides the audio goes to because they're new slide order. So what we've done is we've allowed in the download for the course, we also export all of the audio files that go with those slides or with any of the content in Mindflash. So you'll have an indication of which audio files go with which slides in the course. Once you have edited your PowerPoint as you want it to be for the new version, you'll then attach those audio files to the PowerPoint itself. So one of the features that we support that I think is actually unknown by a lot of people, or a lot of people don't know, is that we support audio that is attached to a PowerPoint slide. So when you're in the PowerPoint, you can just go and add audio to the actual slide itself. That will attach the audio file that you recorded in Mindflash to the PowerPoint slide. And then when you come back into Mindflash, if you replace that PowerPoint, it will then upload all of those audio files along with it, and the appropriate audio file will be attached to the PowerPoint slides. So that was a super convoluted explanation to something that is a rather complex problem. So if that did not make sense, or you didn't get part of it, or it's not working for you, just hit up our support team. They're more than happy to either walk through this with you on a screen share or on the phone or whatever the case may be, just to make sure you get it right, because it does have dramatic impact on your course if you don't do it correctly. But we'd be happy to help you out with that and give you the details on it. When using the public catalog link, it sounds like the end user doesn't have to be a registered trainee. Is this correct? Laura.
There's two settings, so since we're on this page, that's helpful. You can see here that if you click to share the catalog at the bottom, there's two options. One is current users and one is public. So if you choose current users and you send that link out, then when you open that link, you'll see the courses, but if you do not have a login, you will not be able to register for those courses. If you chose public, you would be able to register for those courses if you didn't already have a login. So there's the two options. One is, again, that you can show it to everybody and everybody could sign up, or make it current users and then only people already in the system can sign up for those courses.
One advanced tip on the current users setting there, in order for people, just having them uploaded to Mindflash doesn't mean that they can go and log into the course. They either have to have already set up their own password, or you as the admin have to set up a password for them and then give that to them so they have access to the system. So if they've never taken a course on Mindflash and you haven't set up a password for them, the current users will not work for you. If they've taken a course or you set up a generic password or something like that in order for them to have access and you've given that to them, then it would work. And certainly anyone that's taking courses on a regular basis, they would have access to it. But that's an important note and in terms of how that works for current users. Do you have any plans to add the ability to include diagrams in a multiple choice quiz? So the answer to this is yes. I mean, we definitely have some major enhancements planned for a quiz. The timeline for that at this point is not solidified. We have a lot of things that we're looking to work on here in the near future, and it's definitely on our list. We've gotten a lot of feedback around our quiz tool in recent months, and so we're continuing to maintain that list and refine what that looks like. But we're definitely planning some sort of attack on quizzes in the future here, but it's not going to be in the next couple of months. It's just not something that we're working on at this moment. But definitely we're aware of that, and we'll add your vote to that list. If you change a quiz question after trainees took a course, will they be reset the course? Excuse me. Laura, you want to handle that?
Sure, yeah. If you change a quiz question after a trainee has taken the course, nothing happens to that trainee. So you can reset them in that course, which means they need to take that whole course over again, and their previous record is deleted. But once somebody completes a course and you make changes to that course, they're not affected at all unless you go and take that action. So.
When a person signs up, do they take up a trainee seat? Yeah, so I think this is in reference to viewing a public catalog or signing up for a public course, and the answer to that question is yes. So anyone who has a username and password and is listed on your Manage Users screen is taking up a seat in Mindflash. So they would be in a billable position unless they're archived. Then they would move on to the archived list. So anyone who signs up to take a course or has access to Mindflash, an active username or password, is in a billable position. With the public catalog page access and using the API single sign-on, does it matter what you have the catalog set to? Laura.
I actually don't know the answer to this question. I think it probably depends on how you have it set up with the API, but I'm not sure. Do you know?
The public catalog page. So the public catalog page is truly public. There's a link out there where people can go and sign up for that course. So if you have a public catalog and they have a username and password or a way to log into the system, they would be able to sign up for a public course. So the answer, I'm not totally clear on the question, but effectively if they have an account on Mindflash or even don't, and the course is public, then they would be able to sign up for a course. So it doesn't turn off the login screen or the sign-up screen just because you're using single sign-on. Okay. So I believe that is the extent of our questions. So first of all, thanks for everyone attending today. We hope that the catalog hits the mark for you on how it's all built and what your needs are. Certainly if you have any feedback on what it was built or what you would like to see built, please let us know. We do maintain a long list of feature requests, and I know at times when you make requests it can be frustrating that the things that you're looking for don't get built, but I can tell you that we build features largely based on the requests from customers and the quantity of requests from customers. So if you are interested in a particular feature, please let us know, because we catalog all of those and we count them up, and that has a large bearing on what we end up building. So despite the frustration, I would request that you continue to send in your requests and let us know what you're looking for, and that may change our priority or certainly help dictate what our priority is. Finally, just want to wrap up and let everyone know that we will be sending out the recording of this webinar. So anyone who registered will get that. We'll send you that shortly. Takes a little bit to process, but we will get that out to you soon. And then lastly, we do have every 2 weeks we host a webinar with our CSMs that are basically open office hours, that they'll present a little tip or trick that they've come across or interesting use case from some of our customers that they deal with on a regular basis. They talk to a lot of customers and see a lot of different programs. And they're available, regardless of whether or not you have an assigned CSM to your account or you're on a basic account, whatever, it doesn't matter. You're more than welcome to come and ask questions and pick their brains as to how best to do things. It's a really great environment to fire off somewhat complicated questions or, things that you want some demonstrations of. and they will sit there and go through it with you. So they would be happy to do that and certainly have you attend. If you are interested in attending, you want to just shoot us an email, either to help@mindflash.com or customer success@mindflash.com. We will send you an invitation. And we'll also include it in the email that we follow up with after this this webinar, so that you'll have that and you can sign up for the next one that comes up. And as I said, we do it every couple of weeks, so there are a couple scheduled out in the future, and you can sign up for one in 3 weeks if the next one doesn't work for you. I just had 2 other questions come in real quickly that I'm going to answer before we take off. I have multiple enrollees that register as a new user even though they have been sent a username. Can we make the already have an account larger or more prominent? So it's if you're using email address as your username, then they will not be able to sign up and have duplicates. So we require that all email addresses be unique within the system. So if this is a problem for you and you're having people sign up publicly, I would recommend that you not use usernames and you actually use email address, and it will prevent them from doing this. Otherwise, there's really no way to manage this because they can always sign up with a separate account. So I guess sort of regardless of the visibility of that, they would always have the ability to sign up for their own account. So you definitely something to think about. And again, that's something that we may want to have a chat with you about just to make sure that we totally understand your scenario and how that's happening. So we would be happy to do that. It's probably better answered in that environment than me guessing the details of your question. Okay, so I think that will wrap it up for today. Laura, if you have anything else, jump in. Otherwise, thanks everyone for attending, and look for an email from us in the near future with the recording from today's presentation. Thanks a lot.